I
Sweet.
think
Yeah, it says so.
it's setting up our meeting. All right. We're live here with Vickie Griffith, and we are talking about weight loss and hypnosis, and really, more than anything, how you came up with your message, because we're doing a messaging uh, event later this afternoon, and we just wanted to give everybody just a little preview of what a message looks like and what we're talking about. So, hello, Vickie.
Welcome, Miss Vickie. So,
Thank you.
Vickie, how did we get to know each other?
How did we get to know each other?
Yeah,
Through a program. We're in a coaching program together, which is fabulous. Everyone should have a coach, at least one coach, depending on what you're doing.
I completely agree. I think we met you at the back table, and you greeted us into the program.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Marion were sitting
That's
back
right.
there.
We had lunch together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing lunch together.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Vickie, a lot of people that we meet at these events are entrepreneurs. How did you end up deciding to become an entrepreneur, and what were you doing before that?
Well, let's start with the second grade. No, I'm just kidding.
So, that's where it all began.
Yeah, I know. So how this all started is I've been struggling with my weight my entire life. Even when I was young, I was a fat kid, and I didn't realize that until 10. So it's my experience and how I actually released 70 pounds and kept it off now for 20 years.
Wow.
So that my clients don't have to spend the 25 years it took me to figure it out. So that's how it all started. Before all of this weight loss, being a hypnotist, playing with all these fun energy techniques that I play with, I'm actually a very left brain person. And I was running an emblematic department for a Big Ten university that was over $1 million. And so gross profit margins and all of those business terms that everyone keeps throwing around, that's what I did on a daily basis.
Wow. How interesting. Okay. And that's how you tie into the life and the business.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Very cool. So how did you get involved in hypnosis in the first place? Because I'm also a hypnotist. I don't do the hypnotherapy kind of stuff. I'm a stage hypnosis guy. Mm-hmm. And so we talked about that when we first met.
We did.
But how did you get in?
It happened when I was 16. And my mom said, hey, we met this person that's doing this weight loss program. He happened to be their chiropractor. And would you like to do it? I'm like, okay, sure. Why not one more time? At this point, at 16, I was already a veteran at trying to lose weight. So one more thing. And I went into his office, a chiropractic office, and he had me sit in a recliner. And he said to me, he's just talking to me. And he said, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just kind of sit and relax. And then he said to me, I'm going to tie this red balloon to your left wrist, and pretty soon your arm is going to raise higher and higher. And I said, it's full of shit, right? I'm like, he's full of crap. There's not a red balloon in this office. There was not a red balloon when I came in here. He did not blow one up because I didn't hear him. So it's not going to happen. And pretty soon my left arm started raising off of the arm of the chair. And I went, whoa, this is cool. So at 16, the hypnosis piece of it was all around the diet, which at that point, a long time ago, was keto. It wasn't called that then, but that's what it was. But this is what happened. I am a reserved, I am an introvert, I am a highly sensitive person, which most of that I did not know at that time. And I would not raise my hand in class. I was just in the back of the room. I was the wallflower wherever I went. And then one day I was raising my hand in class to answer the questions that I always knew the answers to, but never raised my hand. And I'm looking at myself going, who is this person? And so my self-confidence started increasing. And then I'm like, well, what is this self-hypnosis stuff? What is this? And I dabbled in it. I played with it through my adulthood. I changed a lot of things about myself easily and just was stepping into things I would have never thought I could have. And so that's how it started. I actually became certified in 2000 actually. Became certified as a hypnotherapist.
Very cool. And so, do you just work with weight loss, or do you work with other things too? Because hypnosis really kind of dabbles in
Mhm.
a lot of different things.
Absolutely. So I still get the people that say, I want to quit smoking. And those clients are vetted very carefully. And that's why I have like a 98% success rate, is because I only take a few. And so I still have that, but I do work. This is what my typical client says. It doesn't matter if it's having problems in sales, doesn't matter if it's having problem building their business, it doesn't matter if it's weight loss. They say to me, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I can't get myself to do it. And that's where I step in.
Yep.
So true.
Yep.
So as Terry mentioned, we're doing that event. And so you've graciously come on to help talk about how you do your messaging. So on Monday, we covered like the problems that you solve. And then Tuesday, we covered like how to find that avatar. Who's the person that's willing to buy and pay for your services? And then yesterday, we talked about painting the picture from their point of view of what their problems were. And then today, we're introducing the what does it look like on the other side? But I want to go, examples are really where it's at for people to kind of grasp onto it. So I appreciate you coming on and kind of playing along, because I know you've been fine-tuning your messages over the years. And I think you've really locked in something that's kind of more out there as weight loss. So is that okay if we kind of go through that with you?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So, so Vickie, tell us the problems that you solve. And like, how did you kind of figure that out?
Well, the problem I solve in most of my marketing is around weight loss. And that's it. It doesn't go any further than that. It's weight loss.
So like losing weight and then keeping it off.
That's my target, yes. So my avatar is someone who's been on the roller coaster, on and off, on and off, on and off, gain, lose, and they're ready to get off. So I'm not looking for, who's not my client is a person who wants to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks to go to the beach. My client is the over 40 who's been doing this for quite a long time and they're sick of it.
Okay. So I love how you captured who it is and who it's not, because that really clarifies and narrows it down for people. We haven't really talked about that. So thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry.
And it also really clarifies in your mind as the business owner what you're looking for. So you're not walking around, and I always think of it like, are you my client? Are you my client? Are you my client? And you end up being like the on that cartoon, the mine, looking for whatever you can get. And it's really, no, we want to be discerning about who we are working with and what problems we solve. And so that's awesome. Another thing that I find that is difficult when I'm working with clients is they don't know how to say what they do as far as results in a tangible way. So how did you come up with tangible instead of just, we do this to make you feel great? And so how did you bring it back to really result-oriented, tangible?
Well, the exercises that you shared with me and the exercise you just shared that you're going through is exactly how I did it. So that is going to clarify to you who your client is, who's that avatar, what they're experiencing, and it's great for ad copy or any copywriting you're doing, because now you've triggered what's going on for them. You've walked in their shoes, and it wasn't hard for me because I've walked in their shoes. I know what it's like. So you can share with the before picture and the after picture, and people are going to walk up to you and you're going to say these things, and they're going to walk up to you afterwards and say, you know me, how do you know me? Or how did you know that about me?
That's perfect. Yeah, that is that attraction into the next conversation, which is the whole point of your pitch or your elevator speech, as we're kind of calling it. So how did you?
Did you want me to share my elevator pitch? Is that what you're looking for?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
We're going to break it down
and
after
then we'll
you
break
share
it down.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So I work with women who are struggling to lose weight, to lose the weight without eating cardboard foods or drop dead workouts, and still eat chocolate every day.
Perfect.
It's perfect, because who doesn't want to eat chocolate? Most people don't like that sweaty workout, and yeah, cardboard is not very desirable.
No.
So you talked about the identity of an avatar. You said it's the woman, it's over 40.
Right.
Who's kind of been on the roller coaster you mentioned before. And so what other feelings are they having? Like,
so when so before they start my program, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what are they feeling? They're disgusted with their bodies. They're disappointed in themselves. Here they are yet again at their highest weight, or they've gained 20 of the 50 pounds that they had lost. And they're afraid. They are afraid that they're going to be that way forever and they're always going to be up and down, or they're going to just have to stay in a fat body.
So feeling pretty discouraged with the whole process over the time and just don't know how to move forward.
Yes. And the fear creates that paralyzed. So they get paralyzed in that state. And they're just so frustrated because they don't know what the next move is. They've tried everything and it works for a while and then it doesn't work. So they're still kind of looking for the unicorn. And I don't have a unicorn, but I do have a way that they can lose the weight and keep it off.
For sure.
So you guys notice how she's not talking about process. That's still a mystery.
Yeah. So
it's exactly what you want to do. Which we'll talk about other things here as we go. But so step 3 we were talking about is the paint the before picture. And I think you mentioned something about they're the people that have 3 sizes in their closet. And that was just like, oh my gosh, it's so true. As women, we keep the 3 sizes. And we're always trying to get to that smaller size.
Right. We're hoping, we're hoping.
And it's in a special bag in my closet for those days. And I just know I'm, reaching there because I will get there. During this COVID, it's kind of gone to the other side, but.
And that's what I hear my prospects and clients are saying to me as well, is I'm so grateful that I still fit in my fat jeans. We aspire to be in our skinny jeans, but I'm so grateful I haven't grown out of my fat jeans. That's what they're saying to me right now.
Same. Actually, I think I'm in my bottom 2 categories still.
So give us an idea, paint the picture of that person, what they're feeling like. They got the 3 sizes in their closet, but what's their average day like? What do they feel like? What do they talk about as far as their themes of their life before they start working with you?
So my average client is going to get out of bed exhausted, usually just hitting the snooze alarm 2 to 3 times. With the whole scenario that we're in now, where we're either working at home or are not working at all, and we have our kids at home, they're going to stumble down into the kitchen, get their first cup of coffee, and then get the kids up. Some schools are already out, but some are not. So they're going to start in with what needs to be the assignments for the day. What schedule do they have to be on? Maybe grabbing something for themselves to eat, maybe not. They're going to get the kids fed and then they're thinking already about what am I going to feed everybody the next 2 meals because everybody's home. They're getting on their best top for the video conferences if they are working from home, and they're getting a little snug and they're uncomfortable sitting there. They're living on coffee and sugar just to keep going, getting through the day and whatever they can grab. And then it gets to be dinner time where they have to make sure that the kids have got all their assignments done and turned in, and what's for dinner. And then maybe plopping on the living room sofa, watching TV with the husband while eating popcorn or another snack. So there's a constant grazing. And in between that, there's that stressful moment that the boss just said, well, you have to have this project in by tomorrow. And so they're in the food pantry grabbing the chocolate chip cookies as they're doing their project on the computer, trying to get it in by the deadline. So they're constantly around food, and they're constantly in this place of frustration and disappointment. And here I go again, and I'll never get out of this. A lot of self-doubt and a lot of anxiety around stress. So that's their average day. How fun is that?
So
Right.
I love how you really paint the picture, like get in their shoes and to say what they're experiencing. And it's like a story. Like you took me on a journey, and I loved how that happened because there's pieces that people identify with. And once again, you're hitting the market. You're the mom that's looking to struggle, and she wants to have all the good food around the house for the kids, but she ends up eating it too.
Right.
Good
Absolutely.
food meaning trashy food.
Yes, and that
Not
was
good
my
for
experience.
you, but darn it tastes
Exactly.
good.
Yes, indeed. You know, the funny thing is those types of foods that I used to have around the house for our son when he was growing up, and I would get my favorite kind and eat most of them, don't taste good now. So
Right.
it's funny how it changes, your taste changes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Definitely.
if I was stressed, I would still eat it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If it was
Right.
there.
Yep, exactly.
You end up buying snacks for him that you really like and he doesn't even care about.
Right. Exactly.
So we know the big selling point is people buy outcomes. So paint us the picture that your clients have as outcomes.
Once they've worked with you,
Mhm.
what do they get?
So they wake up in the morning refreshed and maybe even wake up before the alarm. They get in their workout or movement. I'm not a, like you said, a sweat workout person. I don't believe in those, but maybe they're doing yoga or they're doing something for their body for strength and flexibility. They've already planned what they're going to eat in the morning, or they have foods around for them to eat in the morning, or perhaps they've chosen not to eat. There is that new intermittent fasting that everyone's doing, so they may have chosen not to eat at all.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there's a difference in attitude because she's feeling comfortable in her body now. She doesn't have to depend on yoga pants for the rest of the day to feel comfortable. She knows that she can fit into that smaller size in her closet. She knows that she can go back to work whenever that happens and feel comfortable in her smaller sizes or in her work clothes. You know, we all have those two, the work clothes and the at-home clothes. So she can get into her work clothes. The kids may still be in school, so she has a schedule or a system around that. It feels good. She's going into work feeling confident and calm and can really address things with flexibility and being fluid. She has created a plan at night that after dinner, everybody goes out for a walk. And that gives them some family time. She's also able on the weekends to kick the ball around with the kids and not feel like she's out of breath or huffing or puffing or any of those type of things. So she's happier. And it doesn't mean that life doesn't throw stuff at her, but she can handle it differently rather than moving to food to cope.
I love all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, who would want that in their life, right?
Exactly.
And it's a vivid picture, so people really know what they're getting as a result of working with you.
Yeah, they can see the family walk, the getting out and playing soccer or gardening more or whatever that activity is that they want to do, but they don't always have the energy to do.
Exactly.
I mean, you definitely have the brilliance and locked into that. Still, she has not mentioned her methods.
Right.
Because she's just getting people to say, yeah, I want, that sounds like something I want. That sounds like me. Like you were saying, how did you get in my head? That's me.
Yeah.
I want that. So how did you know when your pitch was strong? How did you know when it was like, this is what I'm supposed to be telling people?
Well, I can tell you how you know it doesn't.
That's a good
Start there.
When they're kind of looking around the room, like if you're in a networking meeting and they're looking around a room, like who can I go say I need to talk to now? And then you know you didn't. But how you know is that there's a connection. They are looking at you. They have kind of this puppy dog cocked head type of look, like how do you do that? And they even ask, how do you do that? There's a lot sometimes of shaking their head. They're shaking their head, yes. I hear myself in that. And that's when you know you've hit on something that is affecting them and that you know you can support them through.
So now that really isn't a lot of like direct networking, like how do you know if your message is hitting for people that are just starting to work on it or fine tuning it like yours?
Virtual is a little more difficult. You know, I do have to admit that because it's a little bit harder to see what other people's reactions are. However, you could still incorporate little tiny questions like, does that sound like you? Please put in the comments. Yeah, that's me. And now you know that you're connecting with them. And you're also connecting with them virtually because this is a whole new skill set for a lot of us. We've played with this, we dabbled in it, but now this is a real, I was on a networking meeting just recently and everyone had 3 minutes and it was so dry because no one was really interacting with each other.
Well, yeah, so, they don't know how to do what you're
Right.
doing. So, I mean, that's kind of like why we created the event, is so people could
Perfect.
fine tune and like practice, right? Like you're
Oh, that's
saying.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to share this too, is that practicing is the number one way to feel comfortable with it and feel better with it. So why not practice with you two who are not going to judge them? You're going to give feedback, but you're not going to judge them. You're going to give them suggestions so you can keep practicing. In the programs that we're in, that's what they do to us. They throw us on the fire and we just go do, and then we get feedback from it. And it makes, for me, it's the best thing I can have, is to have
just
someone
a little
do.
tweak here and there. I mean, even you tweaked your message to us today about your avatar. It's looking a little differently. You customized that, you know, that the kids are at home now. It's different.
Right.
It may even be more pressure. So I think the whole idea we learned the other day of it's always evolving.
Always be evolving. Love it.
Exactly.
So how do you transition to getting them to take the next step once you've engaged
yeah, that's me.
with them?
So I'm kind of direct. I just ask,
like
I'm like, where do you want to go from here? This is what I hear from you. And I'm painting their picture back to them. Right. So I'm painting their picture about where they're at now, where they want to be. And what do you want to do next? What's your next step? And they're going to either have a question for me, or they're going to say, I'm not interested. And I don't look at it as a challenge. I look at it through curiosity. So if it's not now, because a lot of times they'll say not now. A lot of people will say, I don't have the money. And that's really just a hiding mechanism to say, I'm afraid. I'm afraid, especially with dieting, I'm afraid that this is not going to work for me one more time. I'm afraid I'm going to spend more money with this coach teaching me how to do sales, and I'm not going to learn anything. So I challenge them with that too. I used to be very, very nice and not do that, but I discovered that was a disservice, because whether they work with me or not, it's okay. But if I let them go, continuing to move into these excuses of I can't afford it, or it's not for me, or it's not the right time, when really I can support them, or whoever is next can support them, that's a disservice to them. So
I love how you said that, because it's true. I mean, once you were able to drop your 75 pounds, like it was just a whole different life for you.
Right.
Emotionally and physically and mentally. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I like that idea of being direct with it, because so many people are so afraid of either no, or they're afraid that they're going to be looked at poorly in some way.
Right.
And so they never actually either ask for somebody to work with them, attempt to deliver services to them in some way, or just say, look, you got to do something.
Right.
And when we can actually do that, we actually help them step up their confidence right there of, oh, I can do it.
And there's times you're going to hear no. I have a client who's 50 pounds overweight. Her doctor says she's pre-diabetic and probably diabetic now, has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you name it, has all these health issues. And she right out said, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, fine, you know what the danger is for you not releasing this weight. And she's like, I'm ready to, I'd be okay with that. And that's, that's fine. Right. I talk to her every now and then just to check in with her, but that's her choice. And there's nothing I can do about it to change that.
So like, I know you help people with the cravings and like the trigger cravings. Tell me more about that.
Cravings come from 3 areas. So one is triggers, and a trigger is either a smell or a feeling, seeing a commercial. So it's either something you see or smell or a feeling. So that's a trigger. So a feeling might trigger me to go get a chocolate chip cookie, or the hamburger commercials with the big hamburgers across your 65. Yeah, exactly. That might trigger something in you. I had one client that the smell of freshly baked bread was a trigger for her. And so we can work on those type of things. Other one is time. So there's a time of day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? When you feel a little bit down, you go get something to eat. You're surfing the office. When you're in the office, where's the candy dishes? Who has the candy dishes on their desk? Or later after dinner, that's another big time. So it's a time of day. And the other one is called trophies. So I like to call trophies. And this is using food as a reward. So you made a sale. Yay, let's go celebrate. I had one client who celebrated just getting home from work every day from her own business by eating 5 gummy bears. And you wouldn't think that's much, but 5 gummy bears is 100 calories. 100 calories extra a day is 10 pounds a year. And that's what she was facing, is trying to release 10 pounds. So those are the 3 areas: time, triggers, or trophies.
That's super interesting. So, Vickie, we've covered a lot of things today, and I know people would be interested in maybe moving forward with you. So what's the best way to take that next step with you?
Well, they can go to crushcravings.com and they can sign up for free for videos. I actually show you how to crush cravings in 30 seconds. It's not anything where you have to meditate or light candles or do a mantra. It really does take 30 seconds. It's a crazy brain, right? So it's so stupid and it's crazy and it works. So I would really encourage you to start there. It's absolutely free. You can try it out. And then we'll have a conversation later, how it worked for you, what questions you have.
We'll put that in the chat for sure.
Awesome.
And so,
thank you.
Terry and I, and we know you are too, and most of our guests coming on are really into personal development. What's like that book that really inspired you? What's one of your favorite books?
The book that kind of got me on this, I was always in personal development now that I look back on it, but the actual book that I think just created that solid moment when I realized that I had the ability and the responsibility to change me was Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And I have 2 copies in the back, and it has rabbit ear, they call it dog ears, and it has little things, Post-it notes hanging out of it with notes. It was pretty amazing for me.
So definitely something you go back and reread pieces of all the time. Yeah, I love that. So as business, we're, business developers, and we like people to grow their business. So like, what are your secret sauce or tips for business people looking to grow their business?
So whether you're just starting out, and I prefer if you're just starting out to do this, or you haven't done this yet in your business, get a CRM, a customer relations management system, start a database, emails and phone numbers. I wish I would have done that 20 years ago when I started out, and I did not. Have something that will kind of scream at you that, no, you need to call these people today. So it actually creates tasks for you, and you can put in notes for yourself about what you're talking about. So you can sound very informed when you call them in 2 or 3 months or a week or whatever it might be, and say, well, we talked about, or we met at. Get a CRM, number one.
It is an amazing tool, especially when you use it to all that it can do.
Exactly. The other thing is follow up. I was never really good with that. And now I am really kind of a pest at it. I will follow up until someone says no. And that may take a couple years sometimes. It doesn't mean I'm calling them every day, but at least once a week or once a month, I'm following up with people. And the third thing that I do is, this is a one that the business owners absolutely hate.
I bet I can guess what it is.
It's making phone calls.
It's so true.
I call people all the time. I was a skill, again, wallflower, reserved, right? Highly sensitive person. It was something I hated. And now it's just and I would have to do a lot of techniques to get to do that. But now it's just a matter of pick up the phone now and I just call people. So you have to make phone calls, period.
Right.
Those are like spot on tips. I love that you shared those.
Thank you.
And that they were a challenge at first to do the phone call, but once you got used to it, it's so much easier to do. And that's really where the business growth is.
Exactly.
And the fortune in the follow-up.
We have had many clients. I mean, when we first started our business, we also had the trouble of picking up the phone. And it's like, people expend so much energy avoiding picking up the phone. They'll send emails, they'll fix their website over and over and over, do all kinds of social media just to not pick up the phone. And the one thing that's guaranteed to make you money is picking up the phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having your messaging right, which is brilliant. You're brilliant at it, Miss Vickie. And I'm so glad you're able to join us today. It's been fun hearing more about what you do and really how you shared the story of the vision, the before and the after, and how you targeted your avatar so closely. And that just brings everybody in even more. So I really love that. So a thing that we like to close out doing is this or that. Are you ready, Miss Vickie?
I'm not sure.
All right, so we'll give you.
Let me set this up just a little bit.
Okay.
We were on an interview with a good friend of ours who did the same thing
Tim
to us,
Gillette.
and it was so fun. I don't know if you know Tim Gillette, but it's a game called This or That, and so we give you two choices. You get to choose which one you like best.
Okay.
Bacon or sausage?
How about bacon inside a sausage?
Oh.
Coffee or tea?
I drink both.
Me too.
Look at you.
I really do.
Which one more?
Read a book or listen to audiobook?
Now that also switches, but I've been more towards reading because then I can take notes.
Ooh, I like it. Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Snorkel or zip line?
I haven't ever snorkeled. I wanted to, and I haven't zip line either. So as long as it's not scuba diving, I'm okay with snorkeling.
Heels or flats?
Flats. I'm done with the heels.
Done. Passenger or driver?
Again, I'm okay with either. So I've driven, 17, 18 hours before all by myself, and I've been in the passenger seat doing that too. So
passenger, driver.
Really?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I go out of my mind if I'm a passenger.
Money or free time?
Money or free time? That's a question. Why can't you have both?
Exactly. More money, more free time.
Exactly.
Okay, here we go. Toilet paper over or under?
That's hysterical. Depends on who puts it on. For me, it's usually under. For my husband, it's over.
Well, Vickie, this has been so much fun.
Super fun.
I hope you've had fun too. And we look forward to doing more of this business with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And join there. It's a conversation tonight, right? You're having? About
yes.
Messaging?
Our event is 3 p.m. Pacific. And you go to Generator Coaching on Facebook, register, join us. You get 30 seconds to give your power pitch, and we'll give you feedback on what's really working and what might need some work. And 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. And if you're in between those two, you get to do the math. I don't know it. And so join us, and we'll have a good time.
That's a no-brainer, folks. I mean, that is just, they're going to help you out at no obligation and get your words right and the clarity so that you can find your avatar. It's just absolutely a no-brainer. Go do it.
Thank you, Vickie. And yes, practice, and we will see you soon.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.